How does a loving husband go from planning dinner dates
to digging his wife's grave in their backyard?
At first glance, the McAllisters were the kind of couple you'd envy.
High school sweethearts.
2 kids, a charming suburban home with a white picket fence. Friends described them as picture perfect, but behind closed doors, their marriage was rotting from the inside, and no one, not even her closest family, could have imagined the horror that would eventually surface in their quiet, well-manicured
backyard on a humid June afternoon in 2017. Neighbors on Sycamore Drive in Bentonville, Arkansas, noticed something strange. A pungent, foul odor had started wafting from the McAllisters' backyard.
Some thought it was a dead animal. Others speculated the septic system had burst.
But nobody was prepared for the truth. Emily McAllister, 34, a devoted mother of 2 and beloved elementary school teacher, had been missing for 6 days.
Her husband, Daniel McAllister, told everyone she'd left after an argument. According to him, she packed a small bag, kissed the kids goodbye, and vanished. Police initially believed him. There were no signs of forced entry, no blood, no struggle.
Just an open suitcase missing some clothes and a vague, typed note left
on the kitchen counter. "I can't do this anymore.
I need time." But something about that note felt off. Emily's family insisted she'd never leave her children. Her sister, Rachel, cried on national television. Emily lived for her babies.
She would never walk away from them. Never. As days turned into a week, cracks began to form in Daniel's story. First, he was oddly unemotional. He didn't join
search parties.
He refused to speak to the media. When investigators tried to question him again, he lawyered up. Detectives searched the McAllister home. In Emily's closet, they found clothes she supposedly packed, folded neatly in drawers.
Her toothbrush, makeup, and favorite necklace were all still there. Her bank accounts,
untouched. Cell phone, dead since the day she vanished. Then came the surveillance footage. A camera across the street from their house captured Daniel loading heavy garbage bags into the trunk of his car at 4:46 a.m., just hours after he reported Emily missing.
When questioned,
he claimed it was old junk from the garage, but the timestamp contradicted his earlier claim that he'd been asleep all night. Police secured a warrant. They returned to the house on day 8. The backyard had recently been landscaped. Freshly turned soil near the rose bushes caught the eye of a cadaver dog, who began barking frantically.
Officers started digging. 3 feet down, wrapped in a blood-stained bedsheet, was the lifeless body of Emily McAllister. Her skull had been fractured. Multiple stab wounds riddled her chest and abdomen. The medical examiner later revealed she died from blunt force trauma, likely from a hammer, and that she had been buried within 12 hours of death. The community was in shock.
Candlelight vigils turned into rallies for justice. Emily's parents
collapsed in grief.
The children, aged 3 and 6, were taken into protective custody, but the real horror was just beginning. Why would Daniel, an accountant with no criminal record, murder his wife so violently? Investigators dug deeper, and what they uncovered flipped the entire narrative. Daniel had been living a double life. Emails, texts, and APP records painted a chilling picture. For 2 years, Daniel had been having an affair with a woman named Elena Rhodes, a 27-year-old real estate agent from Dallas.
But this wasn't your average affair. Elena didn't know Daniel was married. He told her he was divorced with shared custody of 2 kids. He even showed her a fake divorce certificate.
Their relationship was intense: weekend getaways, expensive gifts, whispered dreams of starting a new life together. Then, a month before Emily's death, Elena got suspicious.
She found a woman's name on a prescription bottle in Daniel's glove
compartment. Emily McAllister.
When she confronted him, Daniel panicked. He begged for time. He told her he was finalizing the custody arrangement and that Emily was unstable, but Elena had already made up her mind. She was leaving him. Friends later told police Daniel had grown increasingly erratic in the weeks leading up to the
murder. He feared losing everything: his mistress, his kids, his reputation.
He spiraled. The final straw.
An email from Elena, sent 2 days before Emily's death. "You lied about everything.
I never want to see you again." Investigators believe.
Daniel's rage boiled over.
That night, Emily likely confronted him about late-night calls or suspicious credit card charges.
An argument turned violent. He struck her with a hammer from the garage, then stabbed her repeatedly to make sure she was dead. He cleaned the scene, dragged her body outside, and buried her beneath the flower bed mere feet from the swing set where their children played. The trial was swift but gut-wrenching. Photos of Emily's body,
testimonies from forensic experts,
Rachel sobbed as she described Emily's devotion
to her children. A neighbor testified that she once heard Daniel yelling, "You think you can leave me? You are nothing without me." But it was Alina's testimony that sealed the case.
Dressed in black, visibly shaken, she detailed the lies, manipulation, and chilling control Daniel exercised over her in a final twist. Prosecutors played a recorded jail phone call between Daniel and his brother. In it, he said, "If she hadn't pushed me, none of this would have happened." The courtroom fell silent. On June 11, 2018, exactly 1 year after Emily's death, Daniel McAllister was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Outside the courthouse, Emily's
family held hands.
Rachel spoke to the press. "We can never bring Emily back."
But today, justice spoke, and it was loud. The McAllister house was sold.
The new owners tore out the flower beds and replaced them with a playground. A small plaque sits under the tree where Emily used to read to her children, in loving memory of Emily McAllister, a mother,
a sister, a friend. You were loved. Her children now live with her sister, safe and thriving.
Every year, on the anniversary of her death, they
plant a rose in her honor.